Wake up world, Aussie 59 here. Okay. Now, the title today is Pot for Canada. Now, a lot of things have happened recently that gave me the idea that this is a good time to put out a video on the benefits of legalization of cannabis in Canada and probably mention a few of the negatives of keeping it the way it is, okay, in the hands of the black marketeers, in the hands of the police corporations, not the police organization, not the police officers themselves. Most of the police officers themselves in Canada, from what I've encountered living in Toronto, are not concerned about cannabis consumption. They actually relax more when they smell cannabis coming from the other side of the door when they get a domestic call. So I know this from personal experience, from being at friends' places where we've been smoking, and a neighbor had claimed that there was some domestic dispute going on because they didn't like my friends. So looking through the people, I've seen them put the safety back on their holsters. Unlike with alcohol situations, they knock on the door with their hand on their gun. Okay, well, with alcohol there's violence, we know that. Okay, now, we have a person running for Prime Minister. Okay, his name's Justin Trudeau.
3 seconds over second place, that's great.
And he's looking to legalize, regulate, and tax, which is a good thing. It's been regulated for a long time in Canada as far as the medical industry goes, since '93. And that brings up another subject where it's good for this country. We already grow an abundance of medical marijuana. We grow an abundance of industrial hemp. And we also have a lot of outlaw, and that's only because cannabis is illegal, farmers that grow for recreational, for the people in this country, so that we can get it. So now there's $4.5 billion a year spent in law enforcement on cracking down on marijuana. Okay, this has been going on for decades. The use in Canada hasn't gone up or down with these enforcements going on. So right there, it shows that it's keeping the status quo of something that has been shown over millennium not to be harmful or not to be fatal.
Fantastic drive.
There's not been enough research in the mental health field to claim the claims they're claiming, but that's about to change because there's groups in the United States that are lobbying for that change, and the US Senate has before them a bill allowing for medical marijuana to be used in testing for health benefits. But of course, you know that's gonna have to be heavily regulated marijuana. So it's gonna have to be marijuana that they know has a history, a heritage, providence. Okay? And up here in Canada, we have plenty of marijuana that has providence. Is been around since '93. So there's marijuana's there. There's a market right there to the research companies in the United States. And that's income coming in. If the government could figure a way to keep it out of the big corporations' hands, they've already got their hands on a lot of it now. They've got the industrial, they've got the medical. So I'd like to see the recreational go back into the farmers' hands. Create a program called homegrown. Okay? Regulate it to the maximum amount of THC that the medical ones are putting out now anyhow, because they got to put out the maximum for certain conditions, for psychotic conditions and things like that. THC works on people with reverse metabolisms, people that take Valium and they get high. They'll high THC will, like the people that get energized by Valium, right? They have a reverse metabolism. So if they used a higher THC, it might calm them down. There's not been enough research on it. This is just experience I've seen with people I know who are considered ADD and stuff like that, and their use of marijuana, and what the higher THC does and what the lower THC does for them. Because I've smoked marijuana over a 45-year span. I've quit a couple of times, voluntarily, without any pressures or anything like that, without any problems. So as far as addictive properties, for myself, I can claim that there isn't an addictive, that it's not addictive, but there's not enough evidence on it yet scientifically. Being habitual, I will tell you one thing, that at times when things have gotten me down, like I buried a wife and that, I find that it becomes, you reach for it the same as you do a cigarette. But if you don't have it, you don't sweat for it, right? If you don't bother, if you didn't bother to get it that day and you decide, I'll wait till Friday when I can get it cheaper because I get from somebody else it's available. So, like, it's never been something that I have found I have to have, but it has been something that has helped me through a lot of things in my life. So, unlike alcohol, I remember what I do and said when I smoke marijuana. Unlike alcohol, I don't get aggressive or violent without severe reasoning. And the tax revenue would be ridiculous, man. I can tell you. First off, right off the bat, $4.5 billion, it doesn't have to go to drug enforcement. Okay? And billions of dollars that aren't going to these drug brokers. And if you set up a homegrown program, you've got plenty of Canadian growers out there. If you gave them an opportunity to, because they're Canadian, more than likely, if you gave them the opportunity to pay a lump tax and get their license to grow it legitimately, then you'll keep the product quality on for the recreational to the same level it's been on the street, which is fairly reasonable. It would actually bring the quality up. You'd get less people being ripped off, paying $20 for a dime bag that doesn't get you high, doesn't do anything for you. And it would give you the opportunity to buy the particular type of marijuana you like. Because myself, I prefer a sativa type brand during the week, something that will keep me awake, will let me function and do whatever I need to do during the day. And on the weekend, I might party with an indica, right? But majority of the stuff, even through the weekends, I'll smoke a sativa or a lower strain indica because I'm not one of those people. It helps me with my arthritis. It helps me with my thought process. It helps me with a lot of things. I don't want to cloud my mind. Alcohol doesn't give you that option. Pharmaceuticals don't give you that option. It's all or nothing. With cannabis, you have that option. And just think, the money can be used to re-stabilize the Canadian economy, get Canada back up in the good standings in the world. Just keep those thoughts. Wake up, have a cup of coffee, smell the roses. Remember, we live among the fertilizer. Love you as always. Aussie 59. Next time.